BinDI News Election 2024 video, and this week I thought I'd like to cover something quite interesting, and this is a reaction to the 4th Trump indictment. And I've seen a lot of people say that he just can't win the general election. There's a lot of people going around saying that no matter what, he can't win, and if he's a nominee, it will be an automatic win for Biden. And I'm going to tell you how, in my view, that is a flawed bit of reasoning. And I mean, the main reason I made this video wasn't really because of the Trump indictment. This is the 4th fucking one we've had. No one really cares. But it was what I found from Interactive Polls the other week. This was August 16th. I can't remember what day this was. I was at work. And this was a slate of polls that came out. And I found this very interesting. Because you look, Biden +1. Biden +1. Biden +1. A shift, Biden +1, by a 4-point shift in favour of Trump. Biden +1. And in fact, after all of this was the polling average. Trump +0.1, which is astonishing. The fact that Trump was at +0.1 in the polling average. I think it's around here somewhere from Interactive Polls. If not, I'll overlay it on screen in a second. But what it was showing that how in the last week before the general election, Real Clear Politics, which is here, had it at Biden +7.5 on average. When in actuality, I think it was Biden plus like 4.5. So it was 3 points in favour of Trump. And this is what I'm reasoning now. If it's 3 points in favour of Trump, I mean, let's just look at what it is now. So it's Biden +0.4. But, I mean, look at this. Look at the polls. Trump +4, tie, +1, +1, +1, +1, +3. So it's Biden +0.4. And when in 2020, nationally, it was a 3-point swing in favour of Trump. And in 2022, the national polling was pretty dead on at Republicans +2. If Biden's only winning the popular vote by 0.4, Trump's going to win. Not only would he win, he'd easily take back most of the states he lost. And in fact, I've started filling it out. So I'm here. This is what I don't care what you're saying, this is what the base map will look like. I don't think Trump will win back Michigan. I don't think Biden will win North Carolina. I'm not doing the whole tilt-lean likely nonsense. I mean, none of these, I don't see any state here flipping from one side to the other. It's literally just the 5 swing states that we have to worry about. And I find that quite fascinating when we look at the polls. And one of the things I like is, consistently, I mean, if Biden's lead is +1, and my going theory of this election is voter apathy will be what secures Trump a win. Because there are hundreds of stories that are covered nearly every day. People do not want to vote for Joe Biden. Now, they may turn up to vote against Trump, but he's not the president anymore. And that worked effectively in 2020 when you've got mass control of the media, you force everyone at home, you can send them all a universal mail-in ballot and send an activist to harass them and constantly, not even harass them, just knock on their door every day. That was a winning machine, and the Democrats have used it perfectly again in 2022. They have known how to ballot harvest. They are geniuses. They are ahead of the curve on that one. But constantly, Trump's been talking about this. Kari Lake's been talking about this as how they're going to win. And it's, Trump's messaging's on point. And in fact, from Interactive Polls, if we scroll up a bit, when I was just reading around the other day, here you go. Do you think the charges against Trump are politically motivated? 49, so that's basically a majority. That's basically 50%. Half the country says yes. It is politically motivated. So it's, if half the country, now this could just be half the country that would vote for Trump anyway. That's possible. But it's also a case of 48% again say they're not confident that Hunter Biden's been treated fairly. So, what happens if these indictments are just, they don't work? Like, I think if Trump's convicted, that would definitely hurt him. But it's also a case of, if 49% of people that are answering the poll are saying, yeah, this is politically motivated, well, like, it won't work. I mean, let's have a look at some of these. I've not even looked at some of these. I literally saw this and I was like, oh, this is a great idea for a video. They were saying, I'm going to read this with you now. Do you think the charges against Donald Trump are politically motivated or not? So 16% say they don't know. It's not that high. I mean, 50% say he should suspend his campaign because of his indictment. But that's not going to stop him. But if half of you say yes, so if half of you are confident in saying that the charges are politically motivated, will that really care when they come to the polling place? Or would I just say, we hate both Trump and Biden, we're just not going to vote again? And if that's the case, look at the 2020 results. Ready? Look in Arizona, 0.3, 10,000. 0.24, 11,000. 1.2, 81,000. 0.63 plus 20,000. And especially in all 4 of these states, where you had massive voter turnout in the inner cities, which helped Biden win, don't get me wrong. High turnout, if there's high turnout in the cities, Biden will sweep. And it's a case of, I think we will be able to tell where the election is going very early on in 2024. I mean, hopefully I'll actually be in one of these states to visit and watch it. I'm thinking Texas at the moment, I'm leaning, or Florida. At the moment, I don't know. If anyone wants to host me out there in 2024, hit me up in the comments. Or follow me on Twitter at bindr.com. But anyway, that's besides the point. I think, once we get reporting out of Pennsylvania and Georgia, these will be the 2 key ones. If they say in Philadelphia and Atlanta, voter turnout is lower than it was in 2020, I think we'll be very confident to say that Donald Trump has won the election. If they say voter turnout in Philadelphia, like in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, and then in Atlanta, if voter turnout in those cities is consistent with what it was in 2020, Biden hasn't won again. And that's literally what I think is going to happen, because, I mean, in these inner cities, especially in Atlanta, there was just a story out, was it 1 or 2 weeks ago now? I can't really remember. But it was, no one's infused about voting for Joe Biden. Now, they might do. But also, there are a lot of people saying this election is going to be close, which is 100% correct. I mean, if you go back to my map, and no matter what, if Trump wins all these states, Biden's at 241. If Biden wins, he's only just won the election the same as he did last time. It's not going to be like a massive sweep either way. And anyone that tells you that Biden swept Trump, that's just not true. Look at these margins. Look, so ready? If you say that there's a 1% shift in favour of Trump in every state, he's won the election. Because look, Arizona, Georgia, Wisconsin, all less than 1%. Pennsylvania, 0.2. So let's just say there's a 1% favour in the shift of Trump, you ready? Arizona, Wisconsin, Georgia, he's over 200. He's won. Like, he doesn't even need to win Nevada and Pennsylvania in that place. Go on. Let's say there's a 2% favour shift in favour of Trump. That throws Nevada into complete tilt territory. And I think Nevada's going to vote for Trump anyway. So, I mean, the idea that Trump could win with very minimal shifts. Because, I mean, my thing is, how many people that voted for Trump? Trump added like something like 8 million more votes between 2016 and 2020. That was nuts. How many people of them are going to abandon him now? How many people that Trump won over in that time are going to say, we are going to abandon him? I reckon there'll be some, but it's also a case of, let's say Trump does fall off, but all that needs to happen is, let's say Joe Biden loses 1% more voters than Donald Trump did. Then he's lost. this is what I think the midterms have cloaked over the weaknesses of Joe Biden. And don't get me wrong, the midterms could show us that the Democrats will just win now until the end of time. The Republicans will never take control again. And the Democrats will just persecute their opponents. So the Democrats will just stay in control. That could happen. That could be what we're seeing. But I think, Joe Biden is deeply unpopular. In fact, we can just look it up right here. Biden approval on issues. Here we go. Ready? On the economy, -20. Foreign policy, -13. Immigration, -24. Inflation, -30. Now let's look at his Biden job approval. -13.6. That is nuts. So it's you telling me that we'll see more than 1% dip in Arizona? Biden's not that favourable. And let's look in Arizona, yeah? Let's say Trump does get to 49 again. Maybe let's say he even dips 1%. Are you telling me Joe Biden's not going to dip more? Especially in these swing states. They hate him in these swing states. And it's the notion that Trump can't win. In fact, there are a lot of people who probably underestimate Trump. At the moment, I'm really enjoying Breaking Points with Crystal and Saga. Is that his name? I don't know. But anyway, in Saga, he makes very good points. Trump is more likely to win that than he's ever been in 2016 and 2020. And he constantly says, which I agree with, he said in 2016, in 2020, the polls always underestimated Trump. They always underestimated him. And if it's a case of, let's say the polls underestimating Democrats in some of these states, and let's say maybe it holds out the same again. That means we're talking that Biden cannot. So if the polls are evening out, and in 2020, I swear we can actually look, because I'm fairly certain that. Let's type it in here. 2020. Polling. Free Trump in Trump versus Biden 2020. Because if my memory's serving me. Oh, there's fat Chris Christie in the mail. Someone's going to be watching me right here and go, oh my god, he's such a fucking retard, which, yeah, definitely. Latest 2024 polls. Here we go. So the latest poll, Biden plus, that was Fox News, which Fox News polling sucks so bad. If state polls I'm able to look at, I don't know, I'm really bad at this. I'll do more research into it. But anyway, let's say the polls hold accurate. Biden plus 0.4, which is 3% less than he had last time. And if that's the case, if Biden's nationally 3% lower, in fact, I think that's 4%. No, it's 4% lower. If Biden's 4% lower, you telling me that let's look at throwing Nevada to the mix and Michigan. I don't think Trump will win Michigan, but if Biden underperforms 2020 by 4 points, and let's say Trump underperforms by 3. Georgia, Arizona, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Nevada, which has been trending right. The 5 swing states I've been talking about, they are leaning in the Trump column. Which, yeah, this election is going to be a lot closer. And this is a map we could easily see. In fact, if you want to ask my opinion, I think this is what I think Trump will win Nevada and Wisconsin. I think Biden might lean it out in one of these, but Georgia I could see flipping. Arizona I could see. In fact, if you want to do the tilt, I think we could easily see those 3 states tilt one way or the other. But at the moment, I'd have to say the indictments are backfiring, and Trump can win.